Hi, my name's Katherine Powell, and I work for Junior Achievement of the Eastern Shore. Junior Achievement is a nonprofit organization that helps teach students about financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurship. Today, we're going to focus specifically on work readiness and one of the skills and knowledge that you need to know to help be successful in the workforce. And that would be knowing your priorities. Priorities meaning things that you find more important than other things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you here so that you can view this PowerPoint that will walk us through the lesson. Considering we're doing this virtually today, it might be helpful that you have a piece of paper in front of you, a pencil or a pen to take notes, and we will be doing an activity a little bit later on, so you will have to write down some things. Once again, our lesson today is called Know Your Priorities, and this is coming from Junior Achievement Career Success. Just to give you a little bit of an overview of some of the things we're going to be talking about today. People change jobs or careers several times over a lifetime. That means it is important to be prepared and adaptable. You should explore which of your priorities should be anchors as you prepare to enter the working world. So you want to know what is important to you. It's also important to remember that your priorities might change throughout your lifetime compared to now, maybe when you're married and you have a family that you have to take care of. So our objectives. By the end of the session, you should be able to recognize the importance of being focused, proactive, and adaptable when exploring careers. And you'll also be able to rank work environment priorities as an anchor for further career planning decisions. So once again, knowing these priorities is going to help you to make and plan for your career decisions. We're going to cover a lot of key terms throughout this session, but one of the main focuses is going to be on work environment. That is the surroundings in a place of work, including physical and social conditions and other factors that affect the quality of the job experience. So there's a lot to consider and think about as you're choosing a career or a job, and one of those main things is going to be the work environment. Feel free to screenshot or take any pictures of any of the slides that you want to refer back to. Some talking points. Your generation is projected to work for a greater number of companies and in a higher number of different jobs over the course of your work lives than the generations before you. Some predictions show that your generation will have 3 or 4 times the number of jobs over the course of your work lives compared to past generations. So think about your parents or maybe even your grandparents. They may have had 1 or 2 stable jobs over their lifetime, and that is changing for your generation. That doesn't mean that you have to have multiple jobs, but it is more likely. With this kind of predicted job turnover, it becomes essential for you to evaluate what's most important to you in your work environment. Those priorities should be reevaluated every few years, or if a major life change occurs like marriage or children. A lot of people are finding different opportunities and different jobs, so that's also why there are different career changes or jobs throughout their lifetime. It's also not uncommon that someone makes a complete career change in a different field. Once you have established those priorities, use them as an anchor for planning what kind of job you want and what education and training are needed. That's something really important to keep in mind, that just because you might want to make a job change or a career change, it won't happen right away. A lot of times that requires education and training and knowledge, and that of course takes time. Think about the quality of life you want to have so you can plan ahead with these priorities in mind. Interestingly enough, employers also want you to take time to establish your priorities. They want employees who want their jobs. Businesses spend time and money to recruit and train employees. That investment is lost if an employee ends up not liking some aspect of the job and quits. So it's important to remember employers don't want to spend time and money on people who don't want that job. They want to spend time on money who are people who are going to stay with that job, be invested, and learn and grow with the company. So this activity that you see on my screen is called I Would Rather. Making choices about what you would like your future to look like. So since we are working virtually today, I'm asking that as we go through these, you write down which you would rather. Typically, you would have these cards in front of you and you would be able to sort them. But today, I'm going to give you two options and you're going to write down which of the two options you prefer or you prioritize. I'm going to work from left to right. Feel free to pause if you need more time or you need some time to think about it. You should be able to make a choice, but if not, you can always start and come back to it. So would you rather work indoors or work outdoors? Would you rather have a job that requires you to move and be physical, or have a job without a lot of movement and physical requirements? Would you rather seek a job with a lot of open positions, increasing the likelihood you'll get hired, or seek a job with fewer openings, making the qualifications more important? Would you rather have a boss who gives you a lot of direction, or have a boss who leaves you in charge until there is a big problem? Would you rather work for someone else or own your own business? Would you rather work in a formal atmosphere where there are strict expectations about what to wear and how to act? Or work in an informal atmosphere where there are few expectations about what to wear and how to act? Would you rather work in the United States or work outside of the United States? Would you rather work in a city or work in a small town or rural area? Would you rather work in one particular place of your choice or happily move to another location where the company sends you? Would you rather work from home or work at a business or office? Would you rather work for a small business with a small number of coworkers or work for a large company with a large number of coworkers? Would you rather have a job that has little or no business travel that keeps you away from home overnight, or have a job that requires a lot of travel away from home one or more nights per week? Moving on to the next page. Would you rather have a calm job that causes little stress or have an exciting but stressful job? Would you rather do work that doesn't require you to be good at a specific skill, or do work that you are good at? Would you rather have a steady job enjoying the work isn't important, or have a job I enjoy? Would you rather have a steady job, it isn't important that you have a job you believe in or that makes a difference, or do a job that you believe in or that makes a difference? So a job with a mission. Would you rather have a large salary, enough to pay for everything you need, plus many things you want, or have an enjoyable job? A large salary isn't important. Would you rather have a job that allows creativity, or have a job where creativity is not a requirement? Would you rather be in a leadership position at work or not be in a leadership position at work? Would you rather have a job that other people respect or think is cool, or have a job that you like? What other people think of the job is not important. Would you rather work 8 hours a day or have a schedule based on getting a job done, even if it takes more than 8 hours? Would you rather work for a company that makes it a priority to contribute to social causes or charities, or work for a company that does not make it a priority to contribute to social causes or charities? Would you rather work for a company that offers good benefits beyond salary, that's insurance, education, reimbursement, daycare, or work for a company that doesn't offer benefits that you might not use anyway? Those are really important things to think about, though, because they cost a lot of money. So I know that was a lot of would you rathers, and you don't have the cards right in front of you, but again, you wrote down which ones were most important to you. So now what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to have you separate your high priorities from your low priorities. You can do this a number of ways. You can put a plus sign next to your high priorities and a minus sign next to your low priorities, or you can even just circle your high priority cards or what you wrote down. Take a couple minutes to do that. You can pause if needed. And then we're going to take a look at the triangle on side 2. Okay. Imagine you're at a job fair, learning about various companies and trying to decide where to apply. Choose your top 10 priorities from the high priority pile, and you're going to either write those down, or if you have them on cards, or if you chose to cut them out, move them to the 1 through 10 boxes. 1 being the highest priority. So you could even just number them on the paper. And then what we're going to do is we are going to circle or star or somehow make the top 3 your concrete choices. Make those very obvious that those are your top 3. Okay. And again, you might want to revisit this in a couple weeks. You might want to just have your top 10 and look at them in a couple days and really figure out your top 3 priorities. I think it's important to keep the 10 in mind, but we want to focus it even more to the 3. Some things to think about moving forward. It is important to keep these priorities in mind as you make choices that will affect your future. For example, if financial security is important, that likely means some training or education is in your future to get a job that pays well. I will also say I think financial security is important no matter what your job pays. You're not always going to have the highest paying job. So it's important to have good financial habits of saving and spending. Review your priorities periodically to be sure you are still pursuing what is important to you. Also, You could take a few minutes now, if you're with a group of people, or if after this you want to FaceTime or call someone else who is in this session, and compare those top 3 priorities and explain why they are your top 3 priorities. This can give you some really good insight into viewpoints that other people have and why they have those viewpoints. So, on the next couple slides, I have a lot of inspirational quotes from some pretty cool people. One way to keep a goal in mind is to find a quote that inspires you and can serve as a reminder of your top priority. So you might have a vision board, you might have just like a cork board, or even on the background of your phone or computer. You might want to pick a quote or a couple quotes that really speak to you and use that as motivation. If you find a quote you really like, you can also learn more about that person and how they have reached success or who they are and some of their work ethic. Okay, so again, there's a lot on here. I am not going to read them all. You can screenshot it or write down some of your favorites. And I'm just going to read one from each. Only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly. That's from Robert F. Kennedy. So it's important to remember that a lot of times we need to take risks or go out of our comfort zone in order to be successful. Take a look at the next one. Feel free to write any down or screenshot. If we are to achieve things never before accomplished, we must employ methods never before attempted, from Francis Bacon, who's a philosopher, or was a philosopher. It's important to know that you are going to have to do things you've never done. You're going to have to go out of your comfort zone. And a lot of things require patience and time and education. Next page, again, a lot of great quotes. Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. Remember, things take hard work. They are not given to us. And this is our last page with quotes. Quote by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. All labor that uplifts humanity has dignity and importance and should be undertaken with painstaking excellence. Summary and review of our lesson about prioritizing. Your generation will experience a record number of career changes, making it even more important to know what your top priorities are so that you can be prepared and adaptable. Revisit your priorities every few years. And you can always revisit the priorities cards and inspirational quotes for motivation. Before we end today, I do want to show you an extending learning activity. There is a JA My Way career assessment. So what you can do is you can visit the site www.jamyway.org. Click on resources on the top menu, the 3-bar icon. Then new users register here in the career assessment section. So I am going to take us here. Here's the 3 bars, resources, career exploration tools. And then down here it gives you the instructions. And then you also have this profile or website that will take you through some of your interests and give you results, and then what careers match up with those. So that is just an extension activity to help you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm glad you were here to learn more about knowing your priorities and the importance of knowing those priorities. Remember, it's always important to revisit those every couple of years, and those are going to really help you to make decisions about your future and what's best for you and what's important to you. Thanks.